Welcome back, everybody. Okay, you had page 467, numbers 3 to 33 multiples of 3. The first problem. I'm going to use x. X minus 2x to the second minus x to the fifth over x. Okay, so we are dividing by a single term, a monomial. So the way to do that is to separate it into separate terms. Each of the terms have to be divided by x. So the first term is divided by x. The second term is also divided by x. And then the third term divided by x. Now we just simplify each fraction. 1 minus 2x minus x to the fourth. Number 6. I'll use x again. 25x to the third plus 15x to the second minus 30x divided by 5x. Okay, again, we're not going to factor any of these problems. It's just division. So we're dividing by a single term again, 5x. So we are going to divide each term separately by 5x. Okay, once you divide each term by 5x, it's like simplifying the fractions. So this would be 5x to the second plus 3x minus 6. Number 9. Nine says 24x to the fifth minus 40x to the fourth plus 6x to the third divided by 4x to the third. We'll separate them. 24x to the fifth divided by 4x to the third minus 40x to the fourth divided by 4x to the third plus 6x to the third divided by 4x to the third. Okay, just gotta simplify the fraction. 6x to the second minus 10x plus 3 halves. Yeah, the x's cancel. 6 over 4 simplifies to 3 halves. Number 12. Four x to the fourth y minus 8x to the sixth y to the second plus 12x to the eighth y to the sixth divided by 4x to the fourth y. Okay, so we divide each of the terms separately. We're just going to simplify the fraction. This is 1 minus 2x to the second y plus 3x to the fourth y to the fifth. Okay, hopefully those were easy. Now we're going to start dividing by binomials. Number 15. X to the second plus 4x plus 4 divided by x plus 2. Okay. Ignore these two terms, just focus on the x squared. Something times x is x squared. X. X multiplies to both terms. X times x is x to the second. X times 2 plus 2x. We need to subtract. That means the signs change. This becomes minus. This becomes minus. That cancels. This will be 2x. I'll drop the 4. And we do it again. Something times x is 2x. A positive 2. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. We're going to subtract, so the signs change. That cancels, that cancels. That's it. This is your answer. Number 18. X to the second plus 5x minus 9 divided by x minus 2. Okay, so we ignore these two terms. We ignore the negative 2. Something times x will give us x squared. X. X times x is the x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. We need to subtract, so the signs change. This becomes minus, this becomes plus. That cancels. 7x, and then I'm going to drop the minus 9. And we're going to do it again. Something times x is 7x. A positive 7. So 7 times x is 7x. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. We're going to subtract. The signs change. This becomes minus. This becomes plus. That cancels. We have a remainder, 5. So we're going to write it as a fraction. 5 over x minus 2. This is your solution. Number 21. Says x to the 5th plus 1 divided by x plus 1. Same idea. Something times x is x to the 5th. X to the 4th. We're going to multiply x to the 4th to both terms. So that gives us x to the 5th plus x to the 4th. We're going to subtract, so the signs have to change. This becomes minus, this becomes minus. That cancels. We can combine those two terms, so we just write them separately. Negative x to the 4th plus 1. And we do it again. Something times x is negative x to the 4th. Negative x to the 3rd. Negative x to the 3rd times x is negative x to the 4th. Negative x to the 3rd times 1 is negative x to the 3rd. We need to subtract, so the signs change. This becomes plus, this becomes plus. That cancels. You can combine the terms. We'll just write it. X to the 3rd plus 1. Something times x gives me x to the 3rd plus x to the 2nd. We multiply to both terms. X to the 3rd plus x to the 2nd. The signs change. This becomes minus, this becomes minus. That cancels. Negative x to the 2nd plus 1. We'll do it again. Something times x is negative x to the second. A negative x. Negative x times x is negative x to the second. We need to multiply to the 1 as well, so that's a negative x. The signs change because we need to subtract, so this becomes plus and that becomes plus. Those terms cancel. You have x plus 1. We're almost there. Something times x is x, a positive 1. So 1 times x is x. 1 times 1 is 1. Signs change. That cancels, and that's it. This is your answer. Number 24. X to the third minus 4x to the second plus x plus 6 divided by x minus 2. Something times x is x to the third, x to the second. So if we multiply, that is x to the third. X squared times negative 2 is a negative 2x to the second. We need to subtract. That means the signs are going to change. This becomes minus, this becomes plus. That'll cancel now. This gives me negative 2x to the second. I'm going to drop the x, and we do it again. Something times x is a negative 2x to the second. Negative 2, x times x is negative 2x to the second. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4x. We need to subtract. That means the signs change. This becomes plus, this becomes minus. That cancels. This right here is a negative 3x. I'm going to drop the 6. And then we do it again. Something times x is a negative 3x. Negative 3 will multiply to both terms. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 2 is a positive 6. You need to subtract, so the signs change. That cancels, that cancels. This is your answer. Number 27. Says 8x to the third minus 22x to the second minus 5x plus 12 divided by 4x plus 3. Something times 4x gives me 8x to the third. 4 times 2 is the 8. X times x to the second will give me x to the third. We're going to multiply this to both terms. We know this is 8x to the third. 2 times 3 is 6, x to the second. Okay, we're going to subtract, so the signs change. That cancels. Negative 28x to the second. I'm going to drop the negative 5x. Something times 4 is negative 28. That's a negative 7. Something times x is the x to the second. We're going to multiply to both terms. We know this is negative 28x to the second. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21x. The signs change because we need to subtract. That cancels. This is 16x. And then I drop the 12. Something times 4 is 16. That's a positive 4. Something times x is x. Oh, that's it. So we'll just multiply 4 to both terms. 4 times 4x, we know is 16x already. 4 times 3 is 12. Oh, this worked out nice. Signs change, they cancel. This is your answer for 27. Number 30. X to the 6th plus 5x to the 3rd minus 24 divided by x to the 3rd minus 3. Something times x to the 3rd will give us x to the 6th. X to the 3rd times x to the 3rd is x to the 6th. X to the 3rd times 3, negative 3, is negative 3x to the 3rd. I'm going to subtract, so the signs change. That canceled. This gives me 8x to the 3rd minus 24. Something times x to the 3rd is 8x to the 3rd, a positive 8. 8x to the 3rd, 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. Signs change because we're subtracting. This cancels, cancels, and that's it. This is your answer. Last one. 33. Says, okay, I'm going to use x instead of t. X to the 3rd minus x to the 2nd plus x minus 1 divided by x minus 1. Something times x is x to the 3rd. X to the 2nd. X to the 2nd times x is x to the 3rd. X to the 2nd times negative 1 is negative x to the 2nd. Signs change. Oh, they both cancel. I'll drop them both. Something times x is x, positive 1. If we multiply 1 to both terms, x, negative 1, signs change. This is your answer for 33. Okay, hope that helped. We'll see you in the next one.